What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So as you can see from the title, this is no joke, this is no exaggeration. I'm pretty sure you can relate to what I'm saying here. It seems like it's getting crazier out there, like the Joker said in that one film. It really is. Just the amount of angry, hostile, almost on the edge of crashing out people that I've come across on a daily basis now, it definitely has increased. I don't know what's going on, but it might be a variety of factors. I've also noticed the difference in people ever since that Jabby Jab, if you know what I'm saying. Since that event in 2020. That really just solidified a lot of the thoughts that I already had about, society as a whole. But, not to sound like an a-hole or anything, but I'm probably sure, you can relate to what I'm saying in that that was an eye-opening event on many levels, right? So just the other day, I was just doing my grocery shopping, right, at Costco, and it was very kind of dystopian. Nobody was talking to each other. The entire store was completely full. It was like almost on full blast, full capacity. The store was completely, almost full, and nobody was talking to each other. It was dead silent in there. And that was just it really creeped me out, and it caught my attention, right? Because I was just doing my grocery shopping, and I've noticed I haven't heard anybody speak in the last 10 minutes. It's crazy out here, guys. And like I said, you can probably relate to this in your real life, right? If there's something from this video that, you should take something away from it, if you take away anything at all, is the fact to not let the outside pressure of the world, do not let society, and do not let other people bring you down or, mold you into what the norm is today. And I'm it's pretty safe to say that the norm today is, the type of person that I just described, or the type of scenario that I just described, right? Angry, hostile, triggered easily, just wanted to take out their anger on any person, right? Not very kind, not very considerate of others. So yeah, don't let the outside pressure, don't let society, break who you are. Unfortunately, this happens to a lot of people, right? The pressures of society, the stresses of life, they slowly but surely start chipping away at the personality, at the core essence of that person. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this in my personal life where, a person completely changed, night and day difference, in just a matter of time, in a very short time frame in a lot of cases. So I know it's tough out there, especially when, like the majority of people you come across, it seems like, are the description that I gave earlier. But don't give up hope. There's always, nice, kind, considerate people out there, even though they are definitely not a dime a dozen. They do exist, and I've personally come across a few in my experience, right? So they're still out there, but unfortunately, it seems like they're getting, rarer and rarer to find, kind of like rare Pokemon almost. It's very hard to come across those sort of people. And this goes and this applies to basically, almost every kind of social scenario that I find myself in, whether it be at work, whether it be at the gym, grocery shopping, just minding my own business, right? Or just walking around doing my day-to-day. I don't know if it's because my mind is kind of focused on it, and it's almost at this point just expecting to come across something like that every time I go out. And, or I don't know what it is. It could be a combination of the things I just mentioned. But like I said, it just seems like a very common occurrence to me, for this to happen on my day-to-day. And like I said earlier, don't let all that stuff get to you. Be different than the rest, right? Always be kind, considerate of others. Of course, there's a fine line to be drawn when it comes to that stuff as well, because you don't want to be a doormat, right? You don't want people to be walking all over you just because you're scared of, their criticism, or because they're going to say something negative about you. No, of course, always hold on to the values that you have. Don't let anybody, push your boundaries past a certain point, right? Always have that fine line drawn in the sand. But what I'm saying is, just always treat others the way you want to be treated, right? The golden rule. what goes around comes around. That's very true. Karma does come back. Or I don't know if it's karma or, you know, some law in the universe that states who you are and what you reflect onto the world is what's going to come back to you. And that's pretty much a truth, at least in my experience. You know, the internal world, my internal world, my thoughts, the way I feel, the way I project out into the way I act towards you know, the outside world, how I feel about myself usually tends to be a mirror, and it usually reflects back on me, right? And what I mean by that is that's what I usually get in return, right? And on the days, I don't know if you can relate to this, on the days where you're feeling extra negative and you're in a bad thought pattern, or, you know, you're just going around not in the best of moods, it just seems like more of that stuff compounds onto your life, right? It just adds up into your life, raining on already on already wet surface, so to speak, right? So I don't know, this might be, again, a law of the universe. And so again, just don't let it get to you guys. It's crazy out there, like the Joker said, but there's definitely still some good people out there. And just remember that, especially when you're having a tough day, or it just seems, again, like you're just coming across the most negative kind of people. So if you made it this far in the video, hopefully something that I mentioned is of use to you, right? I just wanted to share my thoughts on this, I guess, phenomenon, you could call it, because it just, like I said, it just seems to be happening more and more. The likelihood of encountering these type of people, like I said, when I'm out and about, it just seems to have skyrocketed in the past few months and years. But like I said before, don't give up hope, don't give up faith. There's always good people out there. And again, don't let the world break you down. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I just talk about topics that fascinate me, whether it be in the area of self-improvement, life advice, anything, you know, that fascinates me in general. I'm sure that if you stick around on this channel, you'll find something of value here. Thank you to all the subscribers and viewers of this channel. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next one.